What's up guys, it's James here, and in today's video I want to talk to you about three things. I want to narrow down three things that I think are really important for every single entrepreneur or soon-to-be entrepreneur knows before starting their first business. Now at this point I have started, bought, and sold a couple of different businesses, so I've gone through a whole bunch of different ups and downs and different challenges in entrepreneurship, and I want to share some insights that I picked up along the way. Now by no means is this video some kind of an inclusive and all-inclusive guide on how to start your own business or be an entrepreneur. The reality is that that would be as crazy as trying to make a video about how to become a brain surgeon. It takes a lot of training and a lot of expertise to do it successfully, and so no one video is ever going to give you everything you need to start your own successful business. However, you can get there with the right training and taking the right steps, and these three tips I hope will help to expedite this for you. We'll hope to kind of clarify some of the muddied waters around entrepreneurship and what it takes to be a successful entrepreneur. So before I get started, I do have some free training linked down below that I'll be referring to as well throughout the video. That's really useful if you want to get started specifically earning a full-time income managing other people's properties on Airbnb and start that as your first or your next business. So if you want to check that out, that's going to be a more in-depth training of the exact specific steps, which is really great. So if you want to get into that, then I highly recommend clicking the link down below in the description and checking that out. So time for tip number one. The first tip I will give you with starting your own business, getting into entrepreneurship for the first time, is to smash the like button. Please do that for the YouTube algorithm. Take a quick half of a second here and just click that like button down the bottom corner. It helps me out tremendously with YouTube's algorithm. So please take a quick half a second and click that like button. But in all seriousness now, the first thing that's really important for everyone to remember is that being successful as an entrepreneur takes time. It's not going to happen overnight, and the results that you get are going to grow exponentially over time. So if you're stuck in the initial phases, not able to get your first client for the first couple of weeks, the first month, the first 2 months, don't stress about it too much and plan ahead so that you can afford to take the time necessary to really hone your craft and get good at entrepreneurship, get skilled at entrepreneurship. It's not something that you can become masterful for overnight. You can't become a master of anything overnight. Imagine, again, trying to go and become a brain surgeon and start operating within a week, within a month. It's just not going to happen. You're not going to be able to be successful with it. Now, does that mean that you can't make money for 6 months or 12 months from when you start? No, absolutely not. You can, of course, expedite the process in a number of ways, and it doesn't have to take forever, but it does take time. And so you need to give yourself the space, both mentally and financially, to take that time, whether it's a couple of months or a couple of weeks. So number one is that it takes time. Really important to remember that. Number two is that it takes skill. Now, a lot of people would lead you to believe, the Gary Vaynerchuks out there in the world, that entrepreneurship is some innate thing that some people were born with, as if someone, was just born understanding how to acquire customers and how to market and sell and how to run financial analysis on your business. And that's just as stupid as thinking that someone was born with the ability to cut someone open and do open heart surgery. Obviously, no baby is going to be out there doing open heart surgery. No one's born with the ability to do that, just like no one is born with the skills that it takes to be an entrepreneur. It does take skill. You need to go and learn those skills, and it absolutely can be taught. It's just that it isn't taught very well in society right now because it's not as cookie cutter as a lot of other professions, at least not in a more general sense. What I mean by that is that it takes very clear steps to become a brain surgeon, and there is a path that you can go to in the traditional education system to become a brain surgeon. Now, if you went and got your PhD, you became a doctor, maybe you became just a general practitioner, that does not mean that you have the skills to go and do brain surgery on someone, obviously, right? We all know that. And so similarly with entrepreneurship, entrepreneurship. You can learn the ins and outs of running a business in a very general sense, but that does not mean that you will be able to go and actually start and successfully grow a specific type of business. That is going to require specific knowledge, specific skills, and specific training. So as such, it's often a misconception that people throw out there that you cannot teach entrepreneurship. Well, sure, you can teach entrepreneurship in a couple of different ways. You can teach a very broad sense of entrepreneurship, but that's not necessarily going to give someone the skills that they need to go and start the business that they want. So you can teach it in a general sense, or you can teach it in a very specific niche sense. So what I mean by that is we have a program that we teach students how to start a property management business managing other people's properties on Airbnb. It is very, very specific. It's very, very actionable. It is not going to show you how you can start a dropshipping business or an Amazon FBA business or how to make money in the stock markets. If you go and take a general entrepreneurship course, then you're going to get general applications for it, and you're not going to be able to actually really apply that and get results. However, if you take a specific training, you learn a specific set of skills, then you might not get that broader, more general view on things, but you will have specific actionable steps you can take to get real results and get the outcome of being an entrepreneur who's successfully running a business that makes profit. So there it is. It takes skill. Very, very important. That's something that I think there's a huge amount of misconception out there in the world about right now, is that it absolutely takes skill to be an entrepreneur, and it's not something that anybody's born with. That's why I highly recommend when you're first starting out that you go and get specific knowledge and specific skills from whatever source that might be, whether it's an online training program, whether that's working with a coach, and I highly recommend a very specific niche program or specific niche coach if you're looking to get actionable results. If you're not so concerned about actually starting the business successfully and more just want to learn about entrepreneurship in a general sense, then some of these more general courses or edutainment type things can be useful and can be kind of interesting, but they're not actually going to give you a clear action plan to go and get results with. So number 2 is it's really important to remember that it takes skill. The third thing that I would say is arguably one of the most important, and certainly has been for me, is that mindset matters. In entrepreneurship, it's this constant game of, ups and downs and struggles and challenges that there's no real clear answer to. Now, my hope is that over the coming years, that's going to change. And I want to make a large part of actually being a part of making that change happen so that we have really specific paths that entrepreneurs can take, similar to the way that there's a very specific path that someone who wants to be a brain surgeon can take through university to accomplish that end goal. However, right now, there isn't a really clear path. If you want to do something completely outside of the box, which entrepreneurship very much is in pretty much every sense, isn't really a very clear path to take. And so for that reason, it can often get a little bit lonely. It can often feel like you don't know if you're doing the right thing or not. It can be unclear whether you're headed in the direction you want to be headed. And overall, there's just a lot of different stresses that can come along with the career, as the same way that there is with any other one. If you're going and bringing a brain surgeon, there's a whole different pile of stress that comes with having someone's life in your hands, quite literally, every day at work. And so similarly with entrepreneurship, there's a very different set of stresses, and I'm not trying to equate the two to one another in any way, shape, or form. All I'm trying to demonstrate is that with any career you choose, if you're really trying to do something great and you're trying to do something challenging, then there are going to be challenges along with that. It is going to be hard mentally. And so you have to prepare yourself mentally. And there are a number of different skills that you can adopt. And that's why we focus very heavily on that in our training. We don't just focus on the specific action steps. We focus on giving you the tools that you need in order to be able to implement those action steps without getting in your own way and actually get the results. At the end of the day, knowing what to do is only one part of the equation to run a successful business. You also need to know how to actually go about doing it, how to develop the mindset so that you'll actually go and implement it. Your mind is a muscle just like anything else that you need to go and actually build strength in so that you can build the proper habits that are going to lead to your success. So really, really important to just boil it all down, that mindset matters. And just to remember that when you're going into starting your own business, don't expect it to be something that's easy without challenges and that you're just going to be able to breeze through it. You need to be committed to going all the way through the challenging parts to get to the end result that's going to be absolutely phenomenal. The amount of freedom, the amount of financial independence you can get from being an entrepreneur is pretty unparalleled in the world. There's nowhere else where you have this kind of unlimited upside that you do as with entrepreneurship. entrepreneurship, but that comes at a cost. It's not just handed out to everyone that starts in entrepreneurship. You need to work for it, and you need to be prepared to deal with the setbacks and challenges that come along the way. So I hope this video has been really valuable for you. I hope that you've gotten some insights for it. If you have any other insights to share, if there's anything that you have experienced along your path of either starting your own businesses or wanting to start your own business, any challenges you've come across, any insights you've gleaned, then leave them in the comments down below. I'd be really, really excited to hear them from you. As always, if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Please just click that like button. And if you do want some specific training on exactly how to start a business managing other people's properties on Airbnb and how to build that business effectively and shortcut that path to success by working with someone who's got the skilled training to give you all that knowledge that you need and all those skills that you need in a really concise and clear way, then just check out the link down below. There's a free training. They'll tell you more about what we do and how we do it, and they'll walk you through step by step how I was able to build that business really successfully. So again, like always, I hope you've gotten a ton of value from this video, and I will see you in the next one.